Good evening, guys, and happy Tuesday to all of your sunshiny faces. We are close to Thanksgiving, guys. I was telling you all yesterday how it felt like just like Christmas almost already. Like the anticipation for some reason for Thanksgiving almost feels like for Christmas. I don't really know why. But yeah, anyways. So I ended up actually super weird today. I sat at my computer all day today, and I don't really know where the time went. I woke up actually like 9 o'clock this morning. I don't think I got out of bed until like sometime after 10 o'clock though. Like I was just sort of like on my phone and stuff like that and being lazy, and then I got up. And then I ended up having my breakfast, and then shortly after that I started editing. And I don't know how. I only got through editing one vlog today. I was all over the place. I was editing, and it was a longer vlog too. But I did 3 yesterday, so I did 1 today. It was like I did 2. Basically, it was just I could have gotten to more than I did. But like I said, I ended up going over like the like I was editing, and I was also going over some of like my Christmas list a little bit, because I was like, maybe there's some stuff in here that like I either like I do want that I couldn't remember if I added or I didn't want and stuff like that. And I don't think there was really anything on my list that I was like, actually I didn't want that after all. Some of the stuff too was like older stuff that I needed to like sort of find like eBay links for, which is tough because like if I put it on my Christmas list, obviously like within like the next couple days it could actually be gone and be sold already, and then it's not the same. Like, and if it's something that's a little bit more rare and there's not a lot of listings for it or whatever, then it's not. Or like I wanted something specific, like I have a lot of the like Prima game guides for like, I don't even know, I have most of them for like Fallout and like Skyrim I use. And we used to have one for Kingdom Hearts when I was little, and like that was how I first like thought that they were just the coolest thing ever, because again, the internet, and I was almost too young to use the internet sort of at that time, and like we had like 1 computer, like, and my mom normally, well no, maybe we had 2, but like it wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna bring the computer in here and like use it as you know, use a game guide while I'm like playing the game. My dad used to print out like online like walkthroughs for like certain games and stuff like that, and then let us like use it, but it was tough because we couldn't really like read stuff. So the Prima guides were all really colorful and like bright and stuff like that, and so it was just really fun to like go along, or like, you know, like use the maps and stuff like that. I think I loved that. That was like my favorite thing ever. So like I said, now that I'm older, I was like, oh, like the Skyrim one is super helpful, you know, using again the Fallout ones and stuff like that, because I've had the one for Fallout 4 for a very long time, and then again the other ones, but I got the one for Fallout 3, New Vegas, and then the Skyrim ones, and those were all used because they don't sell them like new anywhere anymore. So I ended up getting a couple for like I said, I think they were all for Christmas within the last couple of years, and you know, but like I needed to put down like specifically like what I wanted to make sure that they were like either like for like Fallout 4 like the Game of the Year edition, because it has like all the DLC in it. So again, it was like things had to be sort of specific, and so just to leave it like blank, like that one was new I think when it was bought, but like the Fallout 3 edition I think is the same thing too. It's like the Game of the Year edition also, so it has all the DLC also listed in there. So it's again like that's what I play with. Like for that I needed to make sure that like I specified specifically like it needs to be this kind of game guide instead of just getting like the other one. So that's why like when it's something that I can't directly link to, like, oh, I want this from Amazon and it's already picked out the color, you know, the size of whatever, you know, kind of stuff that like I want, like that's a little bit easier versus being like I want this and then just sort of leaving it up to whoever winds up searching for it, you know, or like if it's Matthew or Jack or something like that. They might know just a tiny bit more, but like for like my parents, sometimes I feel like I do sort of need to like express it a little bit better as to like exactly what I'm like looking for. So like I said, I wanted to try and go through some of those and see like try and find like at least a couple listings of like stuff that was like on eBay or whatever for some of those like game guides that I use. So I was doing that, but again, I don't know how that took up a lot of time today. Then I was looking up like also got disappointed last night because I found out that my computer is actually a little bit, the processor is actually slower than I thought it was on my PC that I have. and I realized that some of the games I had on my Steam list are actually, my computer apparently cannot play them. It's funny though, because I play The Sims 4 perfectly flawlessly. Even The Sims 3 I really don't have any problems with. It's just, it's always been buggy. Like, I feel like even if you have like a gaming computer, people still complain about it, like it not running very well. And so, but like with The Sims 4, I have absolutely no problems. Like, I don't get lags. I have all of the expansion pack, all that kind of stuff, and I literally don't ever have problems. I just don't use like mods or custom content or anything like that. But, and so that might slow it down a little bit more if I did use that. But it has like, I think, just really bad. It's not a gaming PC, and I bought it like over 7 years ago. So it's like, you know, I don't want to say it's on the end of its journey, but it's still, like I said, I could still see myself probably using it for the next couple of years. But I just noticed that, like I said, there's certain games that are now coming out my computer can't handle because it has an i3 processor, like an Intel i3 processor, and the RAM is 4 gigabytes, I think. Whereas my Mac, I thought it was the opposite. My Mac has an Intel i5 processor, I believe is what it is, and it has only 4 gigabytes though of RAM. So it's weird, my Mac sometimes seems like, and I push my Mac a little bit more just because I expect it to do what I expect it to do. The processor is better on it, but I feel like maybe it's because of the RAM, or two, because it is a like 2011 model, so it's actually, I think, technically older than my PC, which I think I bought new in 2014. As far as like, and I bought my Mac new, but it's just the model was older. Like, I bought it from Best Buy, and it wasn't like the new one, it was an older one. So it's like buying like an iPhone like 8 instead of like the 12 you know, sort of thing. When it came out, you know, all the new computers, Macs were coming out, and I bought like an old version. So like I said, I think that's why, even though like it doesn't update anymore, even too, like I can't get any new like system, like the system won't update anymore either, I think. Or it's just like at, like when I first got it, it did, but only for like a couple of years, and then I think it's like at its max. Like, I can't get a higher system, like for example like Windows 10 on a PC. I think that's the same thing. It's like the operating system, I can't get anything higher, and I do believe that there are ones out that are like newer than what my Mac has. So like I said, I think that that's why. Whereas like I said, my PC, when I bought it, I think it was the newest model, but it was a Dell, and it wasn't super expensive. It's cheaper than my Mac, but I don't really only use it for gaming most of the time anyway, and I don't do a lot of gaming. I like to play really old games anyways too. Like, I used to play Roller Coaster Tycoon all the time when I was little, and Zoo Tycoon, and so like I have all those old games on there, and obviously my computer does more than fine with playing those that literally needed like a Windows, like not even Windows XP back then. It was probably like older than that, so like requirements to play it. But like I said, I noticed that some of the games that I was really looking forward to actually playing, my computer can't handle it anymore. And again, like in a couple years, like I don't know what the state of like some of the games that I do play will wind up being, or like new games that are coming out. So I was looking at like a new computer, and I was like, I don't want to spend that much money, but I want to get something that's very new, has a very fast processor, like maybe one of the fastest ones, just so that like it'll last a long time. If I know that I'm buying, like, you know, again, I was sort of comparing like what I paid for it, I think I paid for it, versus like, you know, again, like what I could get now, and then be like, well, I could probably actually squeeze like 20-30 years maybe out of it. Probably not that much, but again, more than like what's maybe going to be 10 years. So I was like, that might actually be worth it if I can get something that does have a really fast processor. Like, I might never need to buy like a computer really again, and I could build one and like all that kind of stuff, and it might be cheaper, or just replace like the processing chip and stuff like that. But seriously, I don't want to do that. I don't want to bring it into somebody else, like, because then at that point I'm like, well, why not just start saving up money to like get a new PC? Like, to have to buy the processor separately, pay somebody to put it in, because I don't know how to do that, and can it even handle like that? Like, I don't really know. I'm not a computer person. So like I said, and I need a new Mac at some point too, and I was like, this is gonna be a lot of money. I need to win the lotto or something like that. But yeah, so like I said, I was going over all of that sort of stuff. I just got totally sidetracked today and like looking up all kinds of random stuff. Then I was like, oh, like one of the things I put down on my Christmas list was I wanted what's it called, a Apple TV, and I wanted, again, the newest version, so that like I don't have to replace it like by next year, like it's gonna be old and be the older version. And then I'm like, this, like, it's not even supported anymore on half of these things, you know, because that's like the part that stinks too, because I really feel bummed out that I ended up spending extra money on a smart TV for it to not work. I don't know if it needs to be hardwired, but I've just had nothing but, I feel like, problems. It worked well for like a while, and then it loses connectivity to the internet, which our internet's not good to begin with, so that might be why. And then on top of that too, though, it just doesn't really like I said, it loses connectivity, but then when it is connected, it just runs what feels like really slow. And I feel like it's just more like processing speed for like the, you know, like the smart TV than it is for the internet. Like me just clicking the remote, it seems like it takes forever to like get through. I've tried looking all this stuff up too. I've tried to do like hard resets. I've tried to do this thing, that thing, all of the different stuff. I can't seem to get anything to work. And so I'm like, I don't care, whatever, I'm just gonna use it as a regular old TV and because Matthew has my old TV that I ended up getting, and then I was like, I want a smart TV so I can just do everything all in one, and was not that great of an idea, because like I said, it's not working that well for me. And he has the old one, but he just bought a Fire Stick, and I was like, I could have done that, but I didn't really want to spend then extra money. And now I'm sort of at the point where I'm like, let's just do it, because at least I know I will have this, and then if I want to replace the TV, get a bigger TV, I can, and I don't have to spend like extra money for smart TV, even though literally smart TVs are one of the only thing that like I was looking through the Black Friday sales, and those are the only things that are on sale, are all smart TVs. Nobody wants a regular old TV anymore. And so I was like that also stinks, is that I can't just buy a regular TV to then get like, again, like a smart like Apple TV. But I want it just because I use all Apple products. I have an Apple phone, I have AirPods, all that kind of stuff, which is one of the other things too, is that one of the really cool features on the, like, I don't know, with the Apple TV is that like you can use your AirPods and connect to it, so like you can listen to it. But if you have the newer versions, it has like this other like sort of like, I don't know, like I forget what it's called, something detecting feature, like where it can detect you like in like the room or something like that, or like head motion or something. I don't remember what it was, but like, and I was like, oh great, my AirPods are now older than that and I can't connect it like to using that feature. So like that's the thing, is that you constantly have to be updating stuff and like, oh, this new feature, and like, oh, this new thing, and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, it really stinks that it's, again, like companies just sucking money right out of you. So but like I said, that's why I'm always like, let's get the newest thing possible, so that years from now, even though it's a better bargain in the long run, it will last me longer, and I don't have to worry about replacing it then, like, oh, like this was again like an iPhone 8 instead of the iPhone 12, and then, oh, I gotta replace it then in like a year, versus I probably got several years out of this phone. So like I said, that's just like my thought process, sort of, is to like get the best version that's available at the time, the newest version that's available at the time, to not have to pay for it and replacing it in the long run, because it will probably hold out longer. Like that's the thing with electronics, I've definitely noticed, is like, sort of splurge. Don't go with like the cheap sort of thing just in the moment, because in the long run it's not going to pay off for you. At least that is my definite like experience with things. So that's sort of what I did with my smart TV too, and like I said, I think it's definitely caught up with me. So and I don't have any problem like buying things used and stuff like that. Like to me, that's a better bargain, but I wouldn't go like to like the AT&T store, go and like buy like a older version of a phone just to get it a better deal. Like, whereas if I got it from like a used phone site that's like certified refurbished and stuff like that at an older model, I wouldn't mind it that much, and I probably will not be paying that much and can afford it. And then again, maybe upgrade a couple of years down the road or whatever. So that's just, like I said, my thought process on the whole thing. But anyway, so that was where I was going with this. So I was looking up the Apple TV thing, and then I was like, oh, I really want to like get that as my birthday present this year instead of putting it on my Christmas list. It's tough too because my birthday's so close to Christmas that I'm like I already made my Christmas list, and I was like, I don't know, guys, just pick something off my Christmas list to get me. And I was like, actually, wait, maybe I want that. That's just like one big like sort of like out of the way present, and then everything else, like, you know. So anyways, I was looking at that. I got distracted then today. I was looking at like the Google Nest and like all the smart devices and stuff like that, and I was joking around with Jack today too, because I was like, now like we could like get like because we talked about like getting a Ring doorbell and stuff like that was the other thing I was looking at. I started, like I said, totally looking at all this random stuff today, like electronics for some weird reason. And then, you know, I was like, okay, like I'm done. And then later in the day I was like talking to Jack, and I was telling him like about the Apple TV and all that kind of stuff, and like the computer situation and things like that. And I was like, you're gonna come into my room, and my room is just gonna be like decked out and all like smart like products and stuff like that, like smart home stuff. And I was like, I'm gonna have a Ring doorbell just on the other side of my bedroom door, so you gotta like come in and ask, you know, like ring the doorbell, and I'll check you in to see if it really is you. You know, if you have something to give me, you can just leave it on the other side of the door and I can tell you that. But no, like that kind of stuff, we actually, like, I was like talking to my parents about like, oh, like maybe we could get that. And I was looking, because again, Black Friday sales and stuff like that. But yeah, it's just funny because my parents actually, my aunts, I think, bought I think Alexa or something like that for my aunt, for her mom, and I guess she didn't want it, and so my aunt had like maybe an extra one or something like that, and she was like, oh, I don't know what to do with it. And then my mom's like, oh, well, you could sell it. She's like, how about if I just give it to you guys? And so we have one that's actually sitting somewhere. I don't know where it is right now, and we actually have to get that all like programmed and set up, because my parents are like, you go ahead and do that, we don't know how to use it. So but like that is like the most technology I feel like that we have in the house, other than our semi-smart washer and dryer, which aren't really smarts, they're semi-smart. I don't think that, like I told you guys too, a washer and dryer can really be smart, but ours is like semi-smart. Like it has some detecting features that are kind of cool, but it's just like technically advanced, I would say, not smart. But as far as like all of the other like smart devices and stuff like that, we don't have like anything really in our house, except for, like I said, like it's like my room pretty much like is where all of the, like, you know, that kind of stuff I feel like I use the most. I am definitely like I love the convenience of technology. I hate it at the same time, but in some circumstances. And I love like the simplicities of life. I like gardening, I like, you know, all that kind of stuff. I don't need like to have technology all the time, and can do without having a phone for a while. But you know, like that kind of stuff, it just like it makes life easier sometimes, and like sometimes just safer. And again, like I feel like sometimes there's more stuff that can go wrong with like electronics, but it's also too, they're getting so smart, sort of almost to a point where it's scary, that they can almost tell you how to fix themselves. You know, when it's like, oh, this thing isn't working, you're like, detect the problem, and it's like, oh yeah, my this and this isn't working, and I'm like, okay, you know, like the error message on the dryer that I get a lot, because it's like it needs to be cleaned, the filter, which I clean out after every load, but sometimes for some reason it still winds up like coming up, and then I realize like there's still like lint deep in the lint trap, not actually in the lint little thingy that comes out, so I have to clean that out, I think, sometimes. And also too, it's weird, like our vent sometimes doesn't work really well, and sometimes it'll wind up getting that error in there too. Like, not that it doesn't work, but like sometimes we've had the one time, which was why we got the new washer and dryer, was because we had a overflow from the washing machine, and it ended up actually going into like the drain, and we didn't, like the exhaust, we didn't realize it, and it clogged up in there and was just like holding it down, and so it really wasn't drying anything because none of the air was like getting out of the, like the pipe. And so that's when we ended up replacing the dryer with the new one, and then we were having the exact same problem, and it started coming up with an error message, and I was like, something's not right. So my dad went in the crawl space, found out we didn't actually need a new dryer, but we have one. So yeah, we just thought that the dryer was on its last leg and it just wasn't drying anything anymore because it was really old. So it needed to be updated at some point and upgraded, but yeah, but like I said, it detected it and told us what was wrong with it, and the other one couldn't do that. We just were like, our clothes aren't drying, you know. So anyways, guys, I need to get in the shower and I need to take a shower and get to bed. Yes, I will see you guys all in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, I'd love if you'd subscribe, and I'll see you all of your sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye, guys.